Hello and welcome to Shay Zaza. And today I have a Zaza Zooms in. I've got a special guest who is no stranger to you.
Hi.
This is Wonu. Just in case you haven't met Wonu before, this is
Hello.
Wonu.
Nice to meet you all.
Thank you for coming on.
That's okay.
So today we are going to talk about our childhood, sort of ish.
Okay. Oh.
So the question is, what advice, no, not even advice, what would you say to your 20-year-old self? So it could be advice, it could be warnings, it could be, whatever. What would you say to your 20-year-old self?
I have a lot to say.
Okay, we
So
only
my
have 24 minutes.
Okay, let's try and squeeze it into 24 minutes. To my 20-year-old self, I have a few things I think I would like to impress strongly
Yes.
upon them. So first
Upon
of all,
her.
upon her, well, and other 20-year-olds,
Okay.
people that may be 20 right now.
Fair enough.
So first of all, believe in something bigger than yourself. So for me, that's Jesus and God. Because when you have that, no one can tell you who you are.
Did you not have that at 20?
Not with any
All right,
kind of
fair enough.
conviction.
Okay, fair enough.
So I can say I was a Christian. I went to a Baptist school when I was from age of 11 to 16. So the Christianity
Yeah.
was always there. But, they came at us with, you're going to go to hell, if you don't believe in Jesus. And so
Yeah, so
out
was
of fear,
it.
you did what you did. And then by the time I was 20, I think I was very like, oh my gosh, I'm free. I went, even though I did go to boarding house, but, it was still under very harsh conditions. Loved it, harsh conditions. And so by the time I was 20, I was in uni. It was like, oh my gosh, all this freedom, what am I going to do with it? So went slightly wild. My mom, bless her, is in heaven, so she doesn't have to watch this.
I'm sure she knew.
So I went a little bit crazy. But then I didn't really have any conviction. I was just, you could have said to me, I always knew that God existed, but I don't know that I ever told anyone about him. I didn't believe it with any conviction that was enough for me to talk about, basically.
Yeah, okay,
Or maybe it was a lack of confidence thing, I'm not sure. So believe in something bigger than yourself that gives you purpose, that centers you, that dictates what your life could be. Because otherwise, you're really going to be blown by the wind. I did a lot of things. Oh, Lord, I did a lot of things.
So you need an anchor.
That's it. You need an anchor. You need a very, very strong anchor.
But okay, let me let you finish, then I'll come back.
No, we can come back in between because I have like 5 points.
So do you think that all the things that you did, I always say that, you're a sum total of everything you've done, your experiences, your upbringing, everything. So I feel like all those things made you who you are today. So in this thing that you're telling your 20-year-old self, is it because you think that some of those things maybe you could have done without, or would have been easier without? Or?
For sure, I could have avoided a lot of things. Some things were just experiments. I didn't know how it was going to play out, but I thought, why not give it a go? And then some experiments are really expensive. So in terms of, heartbreak, you do what you're not supposed to do. And so you come away thinking, how did I get myself here? And for the first time in my life, when I was 20, I failed an exam. In my second year of uni. Oh my gosh. It was my whole world came crashing down.
I said this to Wale when our first son, because he excelled at everything. And I remember saying to Wale, before this boy goes to uni, we have to make him fail at something. Let him fail at home where he can be.
Where you can support him.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was really tough. I just thought, oh my gosh, I have 3 siblings. My brother and I are the brilliant people in the family. Still are.
You always do this when you come on this show.
My
You
sisters,
attack
I
your
know,
sisters.
I do all
Girls,
the time, but they're great.
I'm not among.
My brother and I were like the clever ones. They kept our report cards. My sisters not so much. And so, I for my A levels, I used to do maths for fun. So when I was bored, I went and saw my maths teacher, and we just did maths. I know I'm quite nerdy, and we just did maths. I just had so much fun, and then I got to uni, and then in my second year. My first year, I was like a straight-laced student. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything. And then all of a sudden, in my second year, I thought, why?
I'm in uni. Let me enjoy it.
I just did everything I wasn't supposed to do and more. And then I failed an exam. And to this day, I don't think my mom knew about it. Daddy, if you're watching, I failed an exam. Yeah, so but it really rocked me because I didn't really know how to rally back. I didn't know how to, and I didn't have God enough to know that, you know, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
You know, it was just such a shock at 20 that, you know, you're a failure. I mean, that's how I felt.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
I'm not,
Yeah.
but that's how I felt. So I feel like if my anchor was like, you know, staked in the ground, then I could have been like, okay, slight setback. You know, maybe you shouldn't have done all the things that you did, but here you are. Just, you know, get back up. So that's one. Have an anchor.
Yeah.
Very important. 2, teenage angst. Leave it in the teenage years. I spent
does
a
that mean?
whole year when I was 15 not speaking to my mom.
Yeah, but
Ask me why.
why?
I don't know.
But you were 15, not your 20-year-old self now. So you're talking.
So at 20, leave teenage angst behind and then build relationships with like your parents. That's where I was going.
Okay, all right.
Because I cannot for the life of me remember. It must have been she didn't let me go to a party. It cannot be more than that.
Yes.
It can't be more than that.
Did she know you were not speaking to her? Because sometimes when my daughter is not speaking to me, I don't realize.
No, my mom would come into the room and I'd walk out of the room. And then one day she said to me, listen.
That's rude.
Yes. You don't pay any bills in this house. I am your mother. So I'd greet her, then walk out of the room. And, you know, I think it was just she didn't let me go to my graduation party. Awesome. But that was when there was civil unrest in Nigeria. And so
there was a
the
real
part
reason.
of there was a valid reason. The part of Nigeria where I was in, they were actually killing people. Okay. So, you know, go home. Yeah. So, you know, so just leave teenage angst behind. Some relationships are going to last longer than, you know, when you were a teenager. I think 20 would have been a good time to start building.
Yeah.
So start building relationship, especially with your parents, only because time is so short. I say that now because my mom has passed away and we were great in the end. But it would have been greater to have had that relationship for longer. Yeah. And I think 20, when I was away from home, I was in uni, I was kind of like on my own now. I was maturing. I was meant to be maturing. I was meant to be maturing. And so it would have been a good time to start building that relationship. Yeah. So, but I think I was still just so angry from when I was 15. 15, I remember 15 so vividly.
Interesting.
So 15 is so vivid in my mind. I don't remember 16 or 17, but I remember 15
were
so
you
vividly.
traumatized that year?
I was just angry the whole year. I was literally just angry the whole year. And the basis at the time, it seemed valid. Now it doesn't.
It doesn't, yeah. Okay.
And I think if I had had the little bit of, I don't know what it is, je ne sais quoi, I would say, to work back and think, actually, your mom had a valid point in not letting me go to this graduation party. I may have forgiven her sooner and then started working on the relationship a bit earlier. Because I would love to tell my 20-year-old self that parents are great. Parents are absolutely amazing. Now, there's some that are not, you know, for whatever reason, people find themselves in different situations. But parents, moms, dads, great humans. They've been there, they've done that, they have all the
You
t-shirts.
say that because you're a parent now, isn't it? Do you not think that when you become a parent, when I became a parent is when I finally understood.
Yes, that's true.
What my mom
Parents
went, you know what I mean?
that's true. Your mom's a hero.
So you know what I mean. So I think that sometimes it's almost like we have to experience it ourselves.
Yeah. I think, but which is why, if I can tell my 20-year-old self before you were a parent that your mom is still great, then I think it would have helped, because then I could have gone to her for a lot of the things. And actually, my younger sister had that relationship with her, so she had an amazing relationship with her throughout.
Because she didn't do that 15-year-old.
Because they let her go out. I had valid reason. They let her go out.
So she had no reason to
She had no reason to be angry. She was
fair enough.
She did anything she wanted to do. Yes, dummy, you did. Anyway, so I would have said, start building sooner, because you just never know. And not really because you never know, but because they've been there, they've done that. They're going through they understand the pain. So my mom actually understood oh my gosh, she can't go to her graduation party, but for I was a kid.
She
waited exactly. She waited, and it made more sense to force me to go home. So, and I think deep down, actually upset her that I didn't speak to her for a year
No, it
or
must
thereabouts.
have.
It must have, because
It
if
must
my
have,
daughter
yeah.
doesn't speak to me for a year, I'll be gutted. Do not even try it, Lori. Genuinely. I'd be gutted. Yeah, so...
Okay, so Anchor,
Anchor,
Teenage Angst.
Teenage Angst, let go of Teenage
parents,
Angst.
Is parents good people? Is that number
Yes.
3?
No,
Or
no,
is that
that's part of the
Teenage
Teenage
Angst?
Angst.
Yeah.
Parents are
Okay.
good people. Then your siblings are amazing.
Okay.
They should be amazing.
At 20, they weren't amazing.
Oh my gosh.
No.
When my older sister got married, I'm always throwing my sisters under the bus, but they're good for it.
You are. I might have to
I
stop
always
bringing you
throw
on
my
here.
sister. My younger sister and I, we helped her to pack. To leave. We said to her husband, "Thank you so much that you."
wow.
I'm not exaggerating. We said, "Thank you so much. You're taking her away." She was just unnecessarily
she's
difficult.
firstborn, isn't she?
No, she's the
Oh,
second.
she's the second
Exactly.
one.
You see,
Oh,
you
she's
think
the
she's the
first girl.
first. She's the first girl.
So-
But now she's the most amazing human. Honestly, she's like the three of us are really close now. But it wasn't always the case. We've been close for I'm 40 something now, and we've been close for about 20 years. But it was intentional.
Yeah.
So my brother was relocating to another country. We all used to live in the UK, and we just thought, okay, well, one of us is not going to be in the same space anymore. Let's try. We actually had a conversation about it. Let's try to be better friends. That's how the conversation started. And now I don't think a day goes by where I don't have a conversation with my sisters. Recently went on a trip with them because my brother turned 50. And honestly, we laughed so hard for 4 days. It was just like the best trip. And, you know, I have amazing friends like you're one of them. And I can go on, and we've been on trips together and whatnot. But it was just, and I've never been on a trip with them, just the three of us.
Yeah.
But it was just the most incredible time. And I wish we had done things like that sooner. I really wish, because it was such an incredible time. We spent time talking about childhood, our parents, our mom, our brother. We surprised him. We always ambush him. Bless him. He's the only guy, 3 girls. We're quite loud. It is what
Is he
it
quiet?
is.
I've never
He's-
met him.
Yes, he's very quiet.
yeah.
But then he's quite firm. So when he talks, we just listen. But we don't let him get a word in most times. So when he does get a word in, we know it's serious enough for us to pay attention.
Yeah.
So that's, your siblings are absolutely amazing. Family is amazing. Basically, that's the point. Family is absolutely amazing. You know, again, teenage years, you fought a lot. You didn't speak to each other a lot. You fought about the most mundane things because, you know, you're in the same house.
Yeah.
Your parents, you may have loved one more than the others. This is a thing, guys. Parents love a kid more than the others. It's true, guys. It doesn't matter what you want to say to me now. This is truth. In my house, it happened when I was younger.
And now you love one
I
of
am
your
not going to talk about what's happening in my house.
We know who you love, but we had this. Didn't we have this
Honestly.
conversation?
Oh, we
one time?
did.
about
We
this,
did. Yeah, I cannot confirm or deny. I am pleading the
I
fifth
can
on that
confirm.
one. But I'm doing such a good job. The one that actually I love the most doesn't know.
Yeah, but the others know.
No, they think it's somebody
sure?
else. Yes, 100%.
She's
Yeah.
actually saying this publicly.
Yeah, 100%. But no. So my brother was a loved one in our house. Yeah, it was a loved one in our house. But to credit to my parents, though, I don't think we really knew till we were older how we could deal with it. But no, more to the point, your siblings are amazing. They can be such a good lifeline for you. You know, there's some things that only them will know. So, you know, you know, in some of the most difficult times in my life, only my siblings could have related to some of the things I was going through. And, you know, it was such a strong support network. Sometimes you just don't have to explain anything, you know, just a look, a saying, or something somebody does will trigger something that happened in your childhood or something only you guys have been through together. So, you know, 20-year-old self, your sisters are going to be amazing. They may not be now, but just patiently nurture the relationship. And actually that goes for other relationships in your life as well. So I met a few church friends in my 20s. And I think I went into those relationships very like, well, this is who I am, take it or leave it. And I have a particular friend who is super sensitive. I cannot mention her name because she will beat me up. And we went through like such difficult times together, which I didn't think were difficult, but she reckons they were difficult. and so So she was hurt by a lot of the things I did
Okay.
unintentionally because I just came with my braggadocious self. I never really thought about, loving somebody the way they should be loved. It was more how I can love you.
Yeah.
And, that doesn't necessarily work because the other person is not really
It's not
feeling
feeling
your
the
love.
love. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
The love is all, that whole do unto others as you want them to do unto you. It's not true. It is not. And let me just
And I
knock
think
that on his head.
that's more a basis of just respect. That's more from a,
But even with that-
if you don't want someone to slap you, don't slap someone. That sort of thing, as opposed
Right.
to love them the way you want to be loved. I think love is a completely
Love,
different.
okay, that's
do you know
fair,
what I mean?
that's fair,
But I think
yes.
that in terms of the way you want to be treated, you
Yes,
need to
just
treat
basic
people like
respect.
that. So basic
Yeah,
respect.
fair,
and,
okay, fair enough. I'll take that because
humanity.
yes, loving somebody the way
No,
they love
that's
you,
completely different.
it doesn't work. It has to be the way the person can receive it and can hear it. And so I think there were some relationships I could have nurtured better,
Yeah.
which I actually have since lost, which is a shame. And I think I'd say to my 20-year-old self, do better. And if you know better, you do better. Maybe I didn't try to develop myself. Maybe I just thought I was the best thing since sliced bread. We had a conversation before this started talking about how vain I am. I feel like God made me amazing. So
You are amazing.
yeah,
There's nothing wrong with
yeah,
that.
I'm just so vain. So I think I took my vanity
Into your
those
relationships. Yeah.
And-
And I think it's also about where you meet those people themselves. Because when you brought your vanity into my relationship, I ignored it.
That's true. That's
you
true.
get what I
So that's
mean?
actually took my vanity and just put it on the floor.
Like,
Yeah,
please,
yeah, she
you
just
know,
like, whatever, yeah.
you know what I mean. But if someone else
Yeah.
doesn't, so I guess it depends
Yeah.
on where they are
True.
themselves in their life.
True. There's some things I definitely could have done better.
Yeah.
There are a couple of relationships I'm even thinking about right now. I'm thinking, oh, that's a shame. If I had just taken the effort to understand the other person a little bit better,
Yeah.
I think I
But you
would.
see, it's this thing. Wale and I were talking about this earlier. I always say that you can only change yourself. You can only.
Yeah, but I'm talking about myself.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So that's all you could have done.
Yeah.
But you weren't thinking that way at the time.
No, I
So
wasn't.
you know what I
I
mean?
really
It's like
wasn't.
you can't.
Yeah.
You can't really kick yourself
Yeah.
for that. And
Yeah.
that's not what we're here about. We're here about what would you tell?
Yes. So.
Wow, even time is going.
I know. Okay, so and I have a couple more points. Okay. Multiple streams of income.
Preach it.
Multiple streams of income. And
So
do you know
important.
the worst part? My mother actually believed in multiple streams of income. I don't think she told us about it. I just saw that she did many things.
Okay.
At the time, my dad is a lawyer. He went out. He paid all the bills. I think I could be wrong, Daddy. If you did, I'm sorry. I mean, I could be wrong, but so my mom did many things, and even then, I don't think I got it because what she was saying to us and what she was doing were different. So what she was saying to us was like, oh, get married, have kids, and then you and your husband can. So it was always about you and your husband can. And I bought into that. Not that is wrong,
Yeah.
but I feel like there's so much more that I could have done if I had just known that I could do some things for myself. Like I thought I couldn't start living until I got married. I couldn't start
But
doing,
but
I
that's
couldn't start
you see.
earning,
Yeah.
I couldn't make my own money. I couldn't do a lot of things until, God bless God, I married early enough. So I started doing some things. But even then, I didn't have that mindset. So the mindset of you can actually stand on your own, you can make your own money, you can have multiple streams of income.
Well, and I think the thing is, it's actually there's nothing wrong with doing that because I think we
Yes.
all knew that,
Yeah, I
but
don't
we
think I did.
Okay, but I think those of us
Yeah,
that knew were
yeah.
still thinking, but as a woman, maybe I shouldn't. I don't want to, because people were saying to
yeah.
friends of mine that were. They'll say, you're a threat to men.
true.
Yeah, so you didn't want to be a threat to men, so you
Yes.
now
Held yourself
minimized
back.
yourself.
Yes.
So I do think that
Yes.
there's an element of that whole thing. I mean, I had a conversation with Atiti. I don't know if you saw it, about how it almost seems like for our girls, we raise them with marriage as their destination.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? And you're like, is that all we have to? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And if you're being raised with marriage as your destination, that's why you're waiting
Yes.
until marriage before anything,
anything,
happens.
yes.
And that's
Yes.
just not.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
not true. Okay, so if they're raising you like that, it's
Really
wrong.
isn't. It's
No.
no, really.
There's
There is so much more.
before
so
that.
much more.
Yeah.
And marriage is great. I'm not knocking it, but don't diminish yourself or don't hold up on your life. Don't wait. It's almost like that's like the end goal.
Yeah.
Gosh, no, it's not. It's not even. It's a goal, but it's not the end goal. Nowhere near. Oh, 6 minutes.
It's just another step in your journey.
Yes.
That's it.
That's
Just
it.
another step in
Just
your journey.
another
So you
step in
take
your
all the
journey.
steps and you know that, okay, marriage is one step.
Is one. Yeah, exactly.
Making money might be another step. Having children might be another step. It's just different steps in your
Different
journey. So-
steps, and you can do all of them at
Yeah,
the same time.
yeah.
There's nothing to stop one from being done before the other. So yeah. So that was the other one. Multiple streams. And I have one more, which I can't remember just now. I've got it. Self-development.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Continuously develop yourself. You know, at some point, maybe I remember when I got my first job. I got my first job out of uni, and I thought, oh my gosh,
I've got a job. I'm done. That's it. Nothing more to do.
I'm made. You know,
Finished.
like, what more can I do? Why am I chasing anything? But continuous self-development. They say it in careers and work, but for your life, for your personal growth, there's no pinnacle. There's no
Well, I personally believe that everybody should always be learning. The moment you stop learning,
Yes.
you should be dead.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I don't... and it's-
150%.
You can learn to... you learn anything. It doesn't have to be university education.
Yes.
It can be learned to sew. It can be learned to put on makeup. It
Yes.
can be learned...
Yeah.
Whatever. It can be anything. But
Absolutely.
you must constantly be learning. If not,
Constantly.
then why...
What's the
do you know what I
point?
mean? Because you
Yeah.
need to grow. And I think
Yes.
that sometimes, like you said, we reach... When we've been told that marriage is our goal,
Exactly.
we hit marriage and then
and then you have
we're
a
done.
job
Yeah.
straight out
So
of
what's-
uni.
What else am I
What
waiting
was
for?
that? And literally, I was just like that for long periods of time. And I think that actually speaks into other parts of my life. That I was saying, I wasn't trying to develop myself
Yeah.
with my relationships. I just thought, well, this is me. I'm not the problem. I have a friend who still talks about something I did to her 20 years ago till this day, and she's like, "Would you believe this is what Wonu did?" And I always say to her that, yeah. But actually, I'm sorry. You know who you are. I'm sorry. But, you know, it's all about, you know, as you said, just keep learning. And if that can be, read a new book, you know, once a year. Give yourself one book a year or something. Read a book a year. Understand yourself better. You know, how can I be better? How can today be better than yesterday? You know, what did I do yesterday?
So it's like a constant reassessment of yourself.
All
and I
the
feel like
time.
that's it. Yeah. So
All
I
the
think that
time.
what helps with that is writing a journal or keeping some sort of, you know what I mean? Because then you can see your development. Because I think sometimes...
I don't journal personally, but okay.
Do you know, I stopped journaling because I didn't want people to see what I was saying about people. You know, I felt like, this can damage somebody if they see it.
If someone should steal this book, I'm in trouble.
Finished. They'll work out with it. But I always use code names and everything, but I
okay.
thought, no, so I stopped, but I've started again because I feel like you can see your progress. You can also, it's also, for me, it's a form of therapy. You're getting rid
I've
of
heard that before.
stuff, you know, so it's like, I think it works. And I think that's a good way to see, like, you know, like now I have a book journal. This year alone, guess how many books I've read?
Wow, we're in February.
And when I say read, I'm doing Audible as well.
Yeah, you're still reading the book.
Guess how many books I've read?
3.
6. 6 books this year. And I'm doing Audible, so I'm listening. I'm half reading and half listening to. But yeah, because I said I wanted to do one a month, but I've done. It wasn't deliberate. I've done
I should
6.
just do one a month.
So-
Because, I mean, maybe because I haven't started really doing Audible.
Yeah,
but
Audible
back to journaling, I've recently come across a gratitude journal, which I had never heard of before in my life.
Where have you been?
I don't journal. So any kind
it
of
gratitude?
journaling,
Oh my
I know.
Okay.
The most amazing thing. Anyway, I'll tell Zaz to put the details on her thing as she does. Gratitude journal was all about just being thankful on your daily journey. I mean, I do it. I just never thought there was a thing.
I know, I
called
do.
a
I mean, I
gratitude
think the
journal.
first time I heard about that, I mean, I used to do it, but the first time I heard about it being called a gratitude was Oprah. Like,
Oh my gosh.
30 years ago.
you're
on
kidding.
where she was like, she challenged us to do a gratitude journal for like a month or something. And she said, when you do it for a month, you'll never stop because you can see. So yeah, that the fact that you don't know that, I don't even know how we.
I know.
So it's like
But
almost
I
like
live
deal
a
breaker.
grateful life. So I don't have to journal to know about it, but I just didn't know that it was a tangible thing.
But I just think that sometimes it helps to be able to look back, especially with, you know, like if you're believing for something when you're trying, you see that actually this time last year I couldn't read.
True.
This time I can read 4 books or
Yeah,
whatever. You
fair
know what I mean?
enough.
You can see your growth if you go back. So I think that's where, for me, it helps.
Okay.
Just to be able to see your growth and where you've come from. So yeah,
okay.
that's my thing, yeah.
So maybe I should start journaling. But I think, like Zaz, I'm afraid that if somebody should...
And so just journal about you can
About myself.
limit what you journal about, because I used to kind of do like a diary.
Right.
Which, I mean,
oh,
we
so
called
that's
it
the
a diary
difference between a
because-
journal and a diary.
Well, no, I think a diary is actually
Like, what happens
appointments.
to-
You know, like that's what a diary is. But then you tend to put like some more information in there. So I grew up, what I thought I was doing was writing my diary. So every day I'll say what happened in the day.
Right.
Because I'm a journal, you know. So in writing what happened in the day, I would write what happened in the day. And then I thought maybe I shouldn't be writing this
what happened
down.
in the day.
Perhaps this shouldn't be on paper. You know what I mean? So, but I think so journaling is more, I mean, you can do different type of journal. Like you said, it could be gratitude, it could be good. So it can be very specific. So you don't have to implicate anybody.
Anyone. Or yourself.
Or yourself. Or yourself. Okay.
Or yourself.
So 20-year-old self, basically have an anchor.
Yes.
Parents
are
amazing. Siblings are amazing. Self-development and multiple streams of income. I think those are actually really good things. I mean, what I would say to my, when you started, I was like, wow. So what I would say to my 20-year-old self is, just be who you are. You know,
I feel like 20-year-olds need some kind of guidance.
No, I mean you're probably right. Yeah. You're probably right. I mean, I feel like I was a child when I was
20. Like I wouldn't have known how to be. Being would have just been slightly wild.
Yeah, you see, if you hadn't taken all my time, I would have explained. What just be who you are means, but
so don't go with that. Just go with mine.
But I thought yours was actually really good because it, like you said, it gives structure.
Yeah,
and I think that's how you started off. You said I think they need. Oh no, it was Wale that said structure.
No, I feel like they do
because they need structure. Yeah.
But I mean, not so confined, but some kind of guidance. I'd say.
Well, we're out of time, so do let us know what you would say to your 20-year-old self. I'd like to see if you agree with Wonu or not, and follow us on YouTube. Let's keep the conversation going. See you next time.
Bye.